Welcome everybody to Meet the Polymaker. I'm your host Joel. Welcome to the show, episode 93. Almost the end of the year, almost to that 2-year consecutive mark. Counting down each episode as we go. But if you're new here, we do the same thing every single Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, sometimes a few minutes late. But we do go over 3D printing news. We do share community prints. And ultimately, we meet a new maker every single week. And if you read the title on the YouTube side of things, well, actually, no, it'll be on Twitch now that we're live, is you'll see it's Fragmintz. You might recognize the name, you might not. Does some really awesome things, but we will talk to him in just a bit. So before that, make sure to type in I am awesome, because we are live and we do giveaways at the end of the show. Hopefully it's not the only reason you're here, it's just a bonus. But with that said, let's get right into hot end headlines. First up in the hot end headlines, we have Justin Bieber. What 3D, what's the one person or famous person that the 3D printing community thinks of when they think 3D printing? Justin Bieber, of course. But Justin Bieber has collabed with Zellerfeld. He is now one of the many celebrities, athletes, etc. that has collabed with Zellerfeld, along with Nike, Adidas. I think they do their own stuff with carbon right now. But this just shows how much Zellerfeld is taking the 3D printed shoe area or a realm by storm. Being able to collab with big names like this really gets it out there, which is cool for us because it gives us more designs. It gives other people the option to see, hey, Zellerfeld, I can work with them and make cool custom designs. Lots of people are doing it. Lots of cool designs. Comfortable from my experience thus far. I don't know if I like this one. It makes me think a soccer cleat, which if that's your style, great. Nothing against you, Justin Bieber. I know you're watching. No offense, but but Zellerfeld does make some pretty awesome things. These are the Earth Benders, and they feature a cleat-inspired silhouette with a textured mesh-like surface and comes in a bold lilac color. I think this is the only color that this one comes in, just as it's a signature piece. But you can go grab one now if you'd like to at Zellerfeld.com. Not a paid ad. And next up, if you're looking for ways to do something with all your waste, clean it all up rather than throwing it into a bag and putting it out into the dump sites, maybe soon we'll have another option for possibly recycling the waste. Now, we've shown a lot of different products here that are on Kickstarter. I never tell anybody to go do, go buy it, go back it, everything like that. If I personally like it, I'll let you know, but do your own research. We've had a lot of different companies, promise desktop filament extrusion, recycling machines, Creative 3DP. Do they have something here? Maybe. It is a low price. It is on Kickstarter if you look it up. It's going to be the Extrude X. Costs around $300, making it one of the most affordable filament recyclers to hit Kickstarter, as long as it becomes a real product. It's mostly 3D printed and designed to be simple to assemble with no coding experience required. Works by shredding and melting plastic and extruding it back out to filament, as you've seen extruders before. But it helps to aim makers, again, to cut down on the waste, whether that be failed prints, support pieces, and that filament waste or filament poop from all our awesome multicolored changing printers. So are you interested? You can go check out and read up on it, but do your own research. Next up, we have a Michelin restaurant using 3D printing on their plates. So not only now you're getting a fancy meal, you're getting a very fancy, very expensive, typically, meal on some 3D printed ceramic plates. So this is actually a Michelin star restaurant in Portugal, and they are doing this, introducing these 3D printed plates as a new tasting menu. Plates were designed by Berlin ceramic artist Cindy Valdez, which she's been known for ceramics in the Berlin area, says the article. The restaurant chose to go 3D printing, even though it already has access to high-end tableware, opting for custom artistic forms. So it's all about the look, to have a company go through. There's many of different options out there for designs and plates and bowls and everything else, tableware. But you want something custom, you want to stand out above all the others. This is going to be your best way for custom tableware without paying a whole super high dollar manufacturing cost. So pretty cool to see in even Michelin restaurants. And next up, Zellerfeld. But we just talked about Zellerfeld. They're creating some cool shoes. But how do they create those shoes? Well, they use their own Zellerfeld printer. This has been public knowledge. They do have their own custom printer designed specifically to print their shoes. I believe it's a proprietary like foaming TPU that they use. I don't know. We don't supply it if anybody is asking in chat. But the Zellerfeld founder has posted on his LinkedIn this image. It's actually a video. So if you want to go watch it, go check out his LinkedIn. But it's Cornelius Zellerfeld, by the way. It teases that maybe this printer is going to become available, I don't know, on consumer side, prosumer side, or industrial side. This is like a full menu item almost, a menu screen where you can flip through the different models and possibly just select. I mean, it tells you the grams and everything. It's got some cool details in there. But what does it mean? Does it mean something for us to be able to purchase, make our own shoes as we see fit? Or is there a different way it's going to go? Keep your eye on Zellerfeld, see what's going to happen, because I don't even know. And last but not least, we have talked about Walmart 3D printing some expansions to their buildings, actually many months ago, sometime earlier this year, last year, maybe, I don't even know at this point. But why is it significant now? Because they are utilizing it to expand and build even further, with 16 locations locked down on contract, working with Sika and Alquist to expand the use of 3D printed construction across new stores. And this is possibly whole stores, not just the expansions. But again, I figured I'd share it because we know Walmart. Walmart's a big player in everything that they're a part of. So for them to adapt 3D printing, that tells you there's probably some cost effectiveness to it, because they're not paying higher dollar to have 3D printed buildings to say they're 3D printed. There's no return in that. So this is just, I think, again, just another sign that we're getting closer and closer to have it even more affordable. We have already seen housing and stuff like that, but even more affordable housing. We're going to be able to see more customization, bigger buildings. We've seen 2 stories being built by it now. I mean, again, the sky's going to be the limit once we get there. So keep your eyes on that. And if you're looking to build soon, maybe that's an option to look at. But that is it for our headlines. And we're going to move over to Spool to Spotlight to check out what you've been printing. Almost beat it. Almost beat the transition. Okay, first off, all these prints are shared by our community on our Discord at discord.polymaker.com at our Show Off Prints channel. And the first one up is going to be Sooth, who has printed the Frosty the Chunk Man by the Kit Kiln, available on things. And Kit Kiln, I think probably every show has something Kit Kiln in it. He makes them so they're in pieces. You do not need an AMS to print these. You can print everything in individual color and then assemble them. So the actual name of this model is Frosty the Chunk Man Kit, or Kit Card. I think Kit, because pretty much all of his stuff is kits. And this is just another awesome one. Great color choice, and looks great. And next up, we have Bearded Printer, who has printed and designed the Christmas Pyramid. And this is available on his printables page. And if you have grandmas and grandpas with all the old knickknacks sitting around, you've probably seen an old version of this somewhere, made out of tin, aluminum, copper, who knows what. The idea is tea lights at the bottom will have a small flame. The heat will then rise and make that propeller spin, which then does actions within the buildings, depending how in depth the design is. But a very cool design by a Bearded Printer and a great print. So thank you for sharing. Next up, you see a theme here. It's another snowman. A print by Dilligaff, and this is going to be the Snowman multi-part designed by Micah, and that is available on Maker World. And just again, it's a cute little snowman. We are in the season. Unfortunately, we have seen snow here in Ohio a couple times. Elsewhere has seen it also, unless you live down south too far to see it. Lucky you. Count your blessings. And next up, we have Third Drawn, who has printed the Cozy Fireplace, which is a design by Andrea P. You'll see it on the screen there. This is available on printables. And of course, there's a cool little tree. Reminds me of the old style little light up trees. But Cozy Fireplace is a dock so your phone can go in it, and you have a little flame there. So it looks like a cozy fireplace. Play some sounds, maybe have a little space heater nearby, and have a romantic night with your loved one with just one easy print. So thank you for sharing Third Drawn. And last but not least, it's another snowman. I was going to do them all 3 back to back, but I'm like, guys, let's separate them up. But it's just another model. It's a swirly snowman ornament designed by CGS Creations, also printed by CGS Creations, available on their printables. And this is just a cute swirly snowman ornament that you can hang, place on your mantle, wherever you wish. Make a whole, crew or gang of snowmen. What is the technical term of a group of snowmen? Is it a herd? Is it a gang? Is it a gaggle of snowmen? I don't know. Somebody let me know in chat. But those are all the prints for this week. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for sharing everything I shared. You had all links. You had the links to where you find those models. I don't care if it's behind a paywall, Patreon, wherever it is. If you share a print, even if it's your own, promote it. Give the link so if somebody sees it and wants to download it themselves, they know where to find it. So thank you all for sharing. Keep doing it. Can't wait to see more Christmas prints as we go up to the holidays. And we're going to take a commercial break and be right back with our next guest.
Imagine owning some of the best songs about 3D printing this Discord has to offer. Polymaker presents 3D Printing Hits by Silverback and Little D, the best renditions of some of the greatest hits of all time. Hits like Hallelujah, Polly Smooth Criminal, All That She Wants Is Another Printer, Print Away,
There you go, print away.
Still the TD1, All About That Bag, No Stabbies, and Polyman.
It's a file tonight. We're all in the mood to see it extrude, 'cause you've got your printer tuned right.
Reserve your CD today with a special TV offer by going to polymaker.com and paying $39.99. Have your credit card ready. Seriously though, this music was a joke. Go buy some Polymaker.
This is Polymax PLA, the toughest PLA in the world, and today we're gonna put that to the test. I printed this very mechanical model and we're gonna drop it from the 12th floor. You heard me well, the 12th floor. Let's go! Ready for the first drop in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that's crazy! Not even a scratch! Let's go and check it closer. Not even a single scratch. I dropped it again from the 12th floor and still not a single scratch. Buy your Polymax PLA right now!
Performance may vary depending on usage, individual factors, and external condition. Individual result may vary, not a guarantee of specific outcome. Consult your professional before use. See website for details and limitations. Use responsibly.
Have you had bad customer service with your filament provider? Have you ever gotten a bad spool and never got a response when you emailed the company? Well, that won't ever happen when you reach out to Polymaker. Some people say that no company cares about you. Wrong. 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 If you never got a response after emailing a company that you've worked with in the past, you may be entitled to better customer service. We at Polymaker pride ourselves on good customer service, and we won't ever keep you waiting for a response. Email us now at support@polymaker.com and we'll get back to you within 1 business day. We'll fight for you.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the commercials. I read chat during the commercial, so see the stop motion stuff. Yeah, nowadays with AI, that's really easy to do. Isn't that right, Joe? That one I don't know if it was AI. I like to tease. But we are here to meet our next maker, and as I mentioned, he does some design and does some cool retro stuff. Has a love for retro that actually caught my eye on my own personal Facebook. So without further ado, please welcome in Frag, also known as Fragmintz, which it did it again. Give me 1 second, Frag, because you're not in here. Oh, well, the whole system dropped them. I lied. We have no guest tonight. No. Give me 1 second here. Always got to be something with this system, isn't there? One moment, please. I promise. Fragmintz is here. While you're waiting, Instagram.com/fragmintz1. It kind of, let me move that because it kind of blends in with that white part there. Let's move it over. Not centered, but here we go. Please welcome in. Here we go.
I thought you moved me out the way. I was like, okay, well, I'll just wait here.
Get out of here.
I was like, I could still see the chat. I was like putting stuff in the chat.
Yeah, no, I see you chatting in there. I'm like, nice. It's blacked out. It's the app. It's the website. I don't know which part. It's random. Sometimes it kicks people. Sometimes it doesn't. But welcome into the show. How's it going?
It's going. How's it going, everybody?
So real quick, what I like to do is just in the beginning, for those that might not recognize the name or know what you do, who are you and what do you do?
Well, my pen name is Fragmintz. I've been 3D modeling for like 8 years now. We started off back 8 years ago when everybody was on Facebook. Kind of crowdfunding, Patreon, old school before Patreon, and then just gravitated towards just continuing to learn the craft and make awesome stuff for people and myself. Really.
Oh yeah. And so we'll get to some of the designs that you've made, but now I'd like to ask, especially with anybody that designs, did you start modeling and designing first, or did you start 3D printing first? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I would have to say the printing process was what I started on. We drove up to Dallas to buy a Tier Time printer. I don't know if you're familiar with Tier Time.
I've heard. I don't know the details, but I've heard the name.
But Tier Time was actually the first Chinese manufacturer to make 3D printers over there. Like everything stems off of them. So we bought a commercial enclosed printer, which was at the time it was $2,000, which is pretty much like a X1C or anything else.
Now it's kind of a
Came back
price.
Home, bought a scanner, bought a printer, and my goal was just to scan stuff and make cool prints. And drove back on a Friday. On Monday, I got laid off. And that it was like, do we bring it back or do we keep moving forward? And then started designing, the Thunder Tank, and then statues, and was really struggling. This was like mesh mixer design, like cringing, like And then a buddy of mine sent me this head of lino, and it was amazing. And I was like, well, I got this body that I scanned off of like this big 12-inch toy. And I was like, I'm just going to make like just for me, scanned it, put the head on there. And then the guy who became my mentor, Leandro Wagner, reached out, and he was mad. I don't know if you've ever dealt with Brazilians when they're mad, but he was mad. And I was like, I don't understand anything. And he was like, if you want to learn, I'll teach you. But it was translate.
So he was
So
upset
I
because
learned
you
how
used
to
the
do.
scan piece. Is that what he was upset about? That you didn't?
No, he was upset that I had his head because
Oh,
so
okay.
a lot of artists. I don't know if you covered this on all your 92 other episodes. Is as a designer and as an artist, when we put our models out there, sometimes we do it for free. Sometimes we sell them. They
Yep.
get traded, right? A handful of people buy them, and then they make money off of your work, and you don't see
Reselling
anything.
it. Yep.
So, and that has a lot to do with like IP and things like that, like all that stuff. But it's still your work, and so that's what he was upset about. He was like, "I don't mind that you're not selling it. I might like. I just wish you would have." And I was like, "I didn't know who you are. Like, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah. I just had this
Sanix,
file. Yeah, it was given to me.
like
I'm
I didn't
familiar. I have no
know
idea.
like anybody in like anything about 3D printing, anything about design, nothing." And like when I first started, Sanix was on. I'm pretty sure you know who Sanix is.
Right.
He was pretty green too, and now he does stuff. And it's great to see people like that from almost 10 years ago. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
definitely a skill to develop for sure.
yeah. So he basically, I learned how to do ZBrush from a Brazilian for about a
He
year.
was originally mad at you, and then
He
just
was
developed
originally
into a
mad about
friendship,
it.
right?
We became great friends, and then one day he just like Kaiser Soze, man, he was just gone, And I thought as Americans, we communicate differently, we interpret
Yeah.
things differently, and so a buddy of mine who was also Brazilian was like, "Oh no, that's normal," and I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "We tend to when we're showing people stuff." We get to a point where we just kind of like get up on this high tree like a hawk, and then we just watch you. And every now and again, well, whatever. And I
Kind of
was like, well,
swoop
I thought
down. Yeah.
I thought we were friends though. He's like, well, we are friends, but now you got to do your like, I can't baby you
Yeah.
anymore.
He doesn't
Like,
want to be there the whole time for you. He wants to. He
yeah.
wants to
So
see
I
you go
enjoy
off and,
seeing.
and
Yeah,
soar.
I enjoy. He had a baby during this time, so I still follow him and we chat here and there, but it's not nearly as much as when we first.
That's awesome though, that to be
So
willing to like not know you and bring you under his wing, like you said, of hey, you know what, let's just teach you, and then of
yeah, I
course
was I was like very apologetic. I was like, I don't know the deal here. I don't know what's the
I'm not out here
whatever
trying to pirate all these models and print and sell.
right,
That wasn't my
right.
intention.
I was like, no, I'm like green, and he was like, well, what do you use? I'm like, I'm using Mesh Mixer. He was like,
No.
like he gave. I remember he did the vomit face,
Yeah.
and I was like, what else is there? He's like, oh, there's ZBrush and there's Maya. I was like, what are these things? So that's how I fell into it. I fell into it just trying to go get a printer and make a 2-seater
Just
Thunder
by
tank.
chance.
That's it.
Yeah. So now to this
Yeah.
day, do you still use ZBrush, or have you used multiple other apps, or what's your go-to?
ZBrush is my toolbox. I have another mentor that here and there. His name's Luke Wakeford, and he works for like like Marvel and DC. Like he does work for people, right?
Okay.
And he keeps telling me, he's told me for years, like, you need to learn Maya, you need to learn this, you need to have more tools in your toolbox. And I'm like, ZBrush is a pretty powerful like thing.
It does what I need it to.
I feel like I'm pretty, like I'm not doing hard surface stuff. And if I have to do hard surface stuff, then I'll figure that out.
And Maya,
But
is that
I've
more
seen-
like animation, right? Like 3D, like rendering
Maya,
rather than like model printing?
Yeah, you can do hard surface design in there. You can do animation, just like Blender, and actually ZBrush wasn't even meant to be what it is. It was for like 2-dimensional art, like almost greater than Photoshop. So I didn't know any of that stuff. Now, I mean, it totally changed my life and even my kids. Like my son's 18 and he is doing Blender. My 8-year-old comes in here and messes with the printers. He's very interested in printing stuff and doing things. My other daughter was really hardcore into Maya, and then she decided. I really thought she was going to go to college for animation,
design,
and then she said, "No, I want to go to be a physics teacher." I was like, "Okay, cool," So I think she still dabbles in it. And then, so I mean, it kind of branched to everybody in the family because initially, my thought process as a dad was we could make this kind of like a family thing, like even if you're doing finishing work or you're designing or whatever, like let's build
Oh, yeah,
something.
I mean, if you have multiple modelers under one roof, like everybody's got different perspectives and different angles on things. Yeah. I mean, that's I always say, I hate to say the cliche phrase with 3D printing that the sky's the limit. At that point, you got three or four people modeling stuff. Like you're doing functional stuff, you're doing crazy weird stuff, you're doing retro.
First, I don't remember the group, but I know there's two groups out there under one umbrella name. But before them, it was just like a one guy show. Like it took you X amount of time to do. And then it started getting to a point where you started seeing these amazing models coming out week after week. And I'm like, how is this even being done? Like it takes me like a month to do all the texturing and this and this and this. No. And a buddy of mine goes, oh, they got a team now. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, there's like 5 people doing this stuff now.
Yeah,
I was like,
well,
how
Nico
do I
Industries, STL Flicks.
Yeah, I knew Nico whenever it was just him, So it's like how do you compete an individual artist with a team? And here in Texas, there's not there's not people, even though Austin is like a big gaming animation
just not a whole lot of like designers 3D modeling. Yeah, only like you said too is that's where too is when you're going up against teams, like how do you? But I think we talked a little bit before the show, quality. I mean that's the one thing that really sells because I can go right now I can type in Thundercats and probably find a handful of stuff. I'm not going to find a Thunderstrike or a Thunder Tank, and if I do, it's probably like a low polygon or something that's just horrible. But yeah, I think that's where it just comes in as whether it's you're finding a niche or you just have that passion that comes through in the work, and that just takes you that much further. And that's
I think with the team thing is that I mean I've managed a group like 20 or 30 people working in oil and gas. I think it's amazing that the teams can do that because they all have they're all individual, but they bring together all their styles into one amazing piece. And so I've tried to find a team. I'm like, I need a team. I
don't want to have to do this all my own.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, I think as an individual, as a maker, right? Because when you asked at the beginning, chicken or the egg, most people will say, well, are you a designer or are you this is always gets me, a 3D printer? I'm like, well, I'm not a machine. It's a maker. I was like, I'm both because, and then I do stuff for the Lone Star Art Guild, which is like the art guild of all of Texas. And I'm a part of the Tombaugh Art League, which is, there's like subsets of art leagues, and then they all report kind of to the big one. So when I had because I'm trying to bring 3D printing into that medium, like art.
That it can be art. So, that's not just all AI stuff. Like you can have, creative process there.
Well, I mean, like sculpting in ZBrush is no different than sculpting in real life. It is actually harder to do it in ZBrush than in real life because if you've ever sculpted in real life, then you go to ZBrush, you're trying to emulate stuff with just your hands, right? So getting people to understand that this is just a new medium that we can use in art forms, and it's still hard because people think when they think traditional art, they think it should be very handmade, very, very tactile. And so I have to, when I first started with the league, they had me do kind of like this setup, like how I do what I do. And I'm like, I have to design it, then I have to print it, and then I have to be tactile. I have to put it together, I have to paint it, I have to do all this stuff. So you're still getting the same end result,
And sometimes, and I'm not downplaying anybody with any artistic skills or anything, is as you said, you design, you print, and then you put together, and sometimes put together doesn't work. Then you have to go back and redesign, go back. So it's a back and forth where art is sometimes those mistakes are just, I don't want to say accepted, but they become part of the art with 3D design, especially if you're printing it. Like I can't just, especially if you're trying to emulate something, say like not to keep referring to all the Thundercat stuff, like the Thunderstrike, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't work. You can't just be like,
Right.
well, I'll just add some more glue and it'll just be kind of lopsided. Like, no,
Yeah.
because then it's not
Yeah, it has to be
it's not what it's meant to
functional.
be.
And even like when I was younger, you know, I like drawing comic book stuff and drawing. I mean, you still have an eraser. Like, you know, their big thing is like, oh, you can control Z. It's like, that's very minimal. It's no different than if I was doing a clay sculpture and I didn't like an arm, I'd just cut it off and start over.
Yeah.
Like, it, you know, so it
Throw
was
some more clay on it and add more and remodel it.
Yeah, so I think that's been the biggest challenge the last 2 years is bringing stuff to that area, and then explaining to makers that you're artists too. Like, you know, yeah, I may design, but I could send you my model and another guy, and they print it, and they're going to come out with 3 different pieces of artwork based off. And
Well,
then they're
yeah,
going to
whether
paint
they're
it.
hand painting it or painting it in the slicer and the colors they use, there's
The
that's why I've
material.
seen, you know, when I go to all these events, is I always say I always see 3D printing used in different ways, whether it be a model that's, you know, presented differently and things like that. It still surprises me how it's something new every time. Like I said, whether it's being something represented differently or just 3D modeling or printing used in a different way. And yeah,
I think the
still
maker
art there.
community, doesn't see it like maybe how I'm trying to explain it to them, right? Like, you're artists too, because not everybody can use a printer. Not everybody knows what materials go with what, or how to glue it up, or how to make seams look. And that your end product is based off of your individual experience. And so, you know, when you print something and you're proud of it, not just because of the designer had a great design, you put it together, you did everything. So that makes you an artist.
Yep.
You know?
No, yeah, I 100% agree. Like I said, yeah, there's different levels, and even with 3D printing becoming more accessible, you still have to learn stuff. You still have to, you know, even if it's getting easier, there's still a learning part to it. And then, like you said, as you're taking your own experience and, you know, this color, or, you know, maybe we're going to add fuzzy skin, especially now the features we have, adding fuzzy skin on certain things that I've never thought, oh, add fuzzy skin, that makes it look great. One of our partners, one of my friends recently did.
But back in the day, we'd have been like freaking out if we'd have had any kind of like fuzzy skin on something.
Like, why is this not perfect?
Off of an Ender, or, you know, like, I've never printed PLA. I've never printed.
Really?
I've never printed. I only print ABS. That's it. That's all I've ever printed.
So you've never taken the easy route.
I started with ABS because in oil and gas, you know, it's like the strongest material. Just start with that. And I can blend it, and I can weld it, I can do all kinds of stuff. But no, trust me, there's been times where I'm like, oh, I wish I could just print in PLA or PETG. Like, seriously.
Especially now with and at least there's enough companies out there that there's a lot more color options. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of color options for ABS, but once you go to PLA, I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but 5 times as many colors.
Yes.
And that's especially crazy. Doing retro stuff. If when you're doing match stuff, like, yes, you can print it any color you want, design it how you want. But like, let's say, like for me, nostalgia, I'm printing an old toy. I want to match those colors as close as I can match them. So yeah, PLA would make it easier. But I mean, nowadays there's so many options out there. You can get that retro color. Except maybe I don't think we have any of the gray that yellows over time. I don't think we have any filament that color yet.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think like I've only done 3 multicolor prints. All my stuff I print in either white or gray, and I actually wet sand it and paint it. Sand it, paint it, and like I go through it like it's a car. Like all my vehicles, and even on my statues, kind of the same process. Like, I just treat it like like I'm building a car, you know.
Well, I think that probably makes it tougher too, right? The more layers that you put on there, you know, it's not gonna maybe chip or scratch as easy, or is it?
Well, so I have so for the art stuff, I tend to do this bronzing effect that I do for my stuff. There's other people that have done similar techniques, but I do big stuff. So I tend to, you know, weld and then acetone wash, and I do all these techniques for ABS and then I prime it, and then I wet sand it, and then because you know, if I'm trying to win best in show or first place in my category, it has
12
to.
lines and layer
A lot
lines
of
aren't
times,
gonna
a
work.
lot of there's no. I don't do layer lines like. So most of the time on mine, the judges don't even know that it's not a bronze statue. Like I win, and then they come over to talk to me, and they go,
Plastic.
you know, they're like, they say something like, "Can I hold? Like, can I touch?" I'm like, "Yeah, go touch it here," and I give it to them, and it's obviously 50
Oh, they're
pounds lighter
expecting
than
dense and weight. Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so then I have to explain to them the process. And that's great because then they're not judging me off of the material, they're judging me off the art.
Yeah.
So then it becomes to explain to them that pretty much this is lost cast. Like I can pretty much take these and go to a foundry and they'll burn it off and make a bronze statue. It's just the step before bronzing. You know, so this is, let's say this is $1,000 and we go get it bronze and it's $8,000. I mean, I'm saving you money and it still looks the same.
And
No
it's
one's
still,
gonna
yeah,
know.
you obviously, yeah, you're judges and you didn't know. So, you know, whether
That's
somebody,
right.
a buyer or whatever, is really not going to
Yeah.
know. Now, with all that stuff, like oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, somebody was asking if I'm near Dallas Fort Worth, and I was gonna say I'm in Houston.
But you're in Houston. That's where our factory is in Houston.
Um,
Our factory and our office for our U.S. operations.
Oh, really? I did
Yeah.
not know that. Like, I use Ziltech. They're kind of
they're-
a sponsor. Yeah, they're kind of a sponsor. I mean, you know, whatever, but like I'm sponsored by Anycubic and Creality, and they, you know, just for projects like this really big project I'm working on. But I've seen the Polymaker like matte black PLA.
No.
A shop here in town actually carries a lot of Polymaker, and I was like, oh my god, that is so, like, it lays down so nice. I'm like, they need to make this in ABS. Somebody needs to do it in ABS right now.
We are, the joke with our community, and it's not really a joke, but what we always say is we don't have it yet because we are designing our R&D department and product managers are nonstop, 800 different, you know, SKUs in the works that are being worked on, finalized. So you never know what's going to come out next year's a ton, but yeah, we'll have to get you some over there for you to try. Because now, are you near Missouri City? Because I know that's where our factory is.
So
South.
where are you at? You're in Ohio?
I'm in Ohio. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm from Illinois originally.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Houston, it's kind of like the quads. Like if you're near the quads, you're near everything, right? So in Houston, when you're in Houston, you're only like
20 minutes away.
Texas is so big, right? So Dallas is like 300 miles away, and it's like a 4-hour drive. It's like, oh, I'm going to Dallas today. Missouri City, it's not that, like everything in Texas. We were talking earlier when I went to St. Louis to deliver these 4 Thunderstrikes. It's 7 hours to get out of Texas. Then it was like, bam, 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 different state. So in Houston, in Texas, it's like, it's just, you know, it's just a couple
one of my
of
best
hours.
friends that lives in Houston, one of our product managers, when I go down there and visit, me and him hang out, and it is, you know, he told me, you know, first couple times I visited is, you know, wherever I ask is like, hey, where is this? About 20 minutes away. And it legitimately, like, we actually joked in one of our team chats just the other day, was it doesn't matter how far. It could be 5 miles away, it could be 15 miles away. No matter what, it's 20 minutes. I said it defies all time and space. It makes no sense to me, but it legitimately is. So you're probably 20 minutes away.
I'm probably 20 minutes away. Yeah.
So now with
I'd love to go down there and check out the facility and see what, you know, I guess because I think most of us in printing, if something works, like I didn't use Ziltech up until a year ago. I used, because I was on the tier time printers, they have their own proprietary filament for their commercial machine. And so that was really expensive, $50 a roll. And so then I went to using, I think it's Upland or something like that from, I guess, Inland. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I didn't know that was like, and so, but it worked great on their printers. So when I stopped 3D FDM printing. I only did resin for like 3 years. That's all I did was resin. And then is this the end of 2023? There was an altercation with Bamboo. Basically, they banned me from their website for like life because people were downloading my models, and I couldn't get any answers, couldn't get any nothing. And finally, the communications officer for Bamboo, like headquarters, she's like, "We're going to send you an X1C," and that's when I started. And then Anycubic was like, "Hey, do you have any projects?" I was like, "Yeah." And then Creality, "Hey, do you got any projects?" So I was like, "Great, now I got all these. Now I got to start FDM printing again." And
jug back into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, because when I first started, I just used inland, and a buddy brought me over some ABS from Ziltech, and I guess it was not dried out. It was, my printer did not like that, so it just left a bad taste. And so it's been a couple years, so I revisited, and that's what I use. So I'm always looking for other material that may be better suited for specific projects.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too. I think is specific projects depending on where it's going to be displayed, what it's going to be used for. I mean, nowadays, of course, as we said, the accessibility to 3D printing is there. That means the accessibility to materials is now there. Whether you want to do nylons and ABS and PETG, ASM, there's a whole
10 years ago, like even the PLA now is different than the PLA 10 years ago. Like I've seen makers print stuff in PLA and put it out in their backyard in Florida, and it doesn't melt. And I'm like, I remember a buddy printing something in PLA and it traumatized me. He put it out on the driveway, and I was like, nope, ABS, I'm done.
Yeah.
Not even.
Oh yeah. Now we even have HT PLA, so high temp PLA, and there's all sorts of different options. And again, the color spectrum just is never ending. So if we don't carry it, somebody else probably does, and if nobody carries it, we'll probably get it soon. I lost him again here. 1 second. If you can hear me, Frag, oh, there you go. Let me bring you back in here.
There you go.
There we go.
I was like, I didn't touch anything. I'm looking at the stream on Twitch. And I'm like, did he lose me again? Yeah.
Yep, so now with all the models and everything that you do, like I said, I know I've talked a lot on the Thundercat stuff. Was that one of the first like big things that you decided to tackle for modeling? And was it like a love of the cartoon, or was it just, I thought this is cool, let's go with it?
So a lot of people think like he must be a super fan, and what ended up happening, we talked about this in the green room before, was I did a lot of scratch building before, and I want a 2-seater Thunder Tank. Kind of found out about 3D printing. I was way behind in this game, and started calling around to like people in Florida and California, like studios, because I didn't know that there was this big, great community of people that like make stuff, right? Yeah. And they were like, oh, $6, $7, $8 grand. And I was like, for what? And they're like, well, we got to design it. We got to do this. We got to make molds. We got to do injection. I'm like, I just want to like how do I get it to print?
Yeah, I just want the digital version. I don't need a whole production.
Yeah. So basically the first 6 months with that tier time printer was getting a design. I had a buddy that Jeremy, I think his name was Jeremy P. I forget his name right offhand, but he had a model on CG Trader of a Thunder Tank, but it was for gaming. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I don't know anything. Can I buy this model? And And so it took me a month or two to figure out how to make that gaming model printable. Then I had to redesign it so that it wasn't like 100% his. And then it took me 6 months, and it was like, in between there, I'm trying to learn from Leandro. I'm doing statues, and it became like therapeutic. Thundercats became therapeutic. I can do other stuff, and I've done other stuff, but whenever I need therapeutic, like step away from a project, that's my fallback. So and I never get tired of them. And what I usually do, what I've done the last 5 years, is I'll do a statue or statues of each of the characters, and then next year I do another one. I want to see if I've grown. I want to see if I've changed the styles.
Well, that's a cool way. So then you just this is model 1, the model 2, and change up.
So
I'm
I have
sure
like
the
7
design,
years of different linos and different characters and textures, no textures, lines, whatever, and then vehicles and just all kinds of crazy. And then I do stuff for this guy Lazio Designs, who does a lot of Navy inspired stuff for the Navy. So that allows me to step away too, because then it's like I get to kind of help support troops and make them feel good about themselves, and help him, because he's not a designer, he's a maker. So
Is that a nice little like, feel good, like you said, as a secondary, feel good breather to get away from something that just is tedious. And because especially in modeling, you don't want to get burnt out, especially if that's what you do. Then you don't want to hate what you do every day. Like, okay, now I don't want to make this, but I'm going to because I have to.
Right. Yeah.
Now, is there any other retro cartoons that you've loved, that you thought, hey, this was a toy back in the 80s, late 80s, that I'd really love to see again?
So we were dirt poor. Like, we were dirt poor in the 80s when I was growing up. I
dream to have those toys.
I know I look young, but I was born in the 1979s. Okay. My mom scraped up the money to get me a Thundercat sword and a lino. So I think that's where it stems from. But I loved, Ninja Turtles, and I wasn't a big G.I. Joe fan. I wasn't a big, I had Transformers were good, but again, everything was really expensive, so we had to make with what we had. So I've done some Transformer stuff, some play sets. I've done some G.I. Joe kits. People want specialized guns or little things, and I always tell people like just things that aren't being offered, from these different big companies, that people go, oh, well, I can get a rifle for what's his name. They don't have a rifle, and I can make it out of resin.
To source it through eBay and hope that you don't get ripped
off.
And
And I always tell people, like, if you don't buy something or get with me and you have questions, you can always hit me up, and I'll make sure, you're getting the right information, because a lot of times it's buy my stuff, and if you don't, see you later, alligator.
You're no good to me.
Thing. Yeah, I think I'm kind of all over the place when people will hit me up and they'll go, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, we talked about this earlier. I don't know. Let's see. And usually sometimes what I end up doing is I don't even charge them for like what I call the sketch time, which is like ZBrush, just trying to see if it could work.
It's more of a challenge to yourself.
Yeah, I love doing all kinds of different stuff. I don't like being pigeonholed. I think it's the ADHD,
I think it exists in 99.9% of the maker community. So I think that's probably it.
Oh, squirrel. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of retro stuff going on now, because like my oldest daughter is like 23. My other son's 18. There's this group of kids that were raised by people like me, and they're kind of like interested in that stuff now as they're getting older, and they can buy their own stuff, but it's not available. So, or they want to get stuff for their dad. I have a girl who just bought she wanted a Thunderstrike, but she's getting it for her dad. And I thought it was really nice, but at the same time, I know her dad, like we've talked, and the dad in me was like, hey man, like, you need to talk to her, because this is a big deal, and I want to make sure everybody's cool and on the same page, because you were talking to me too. And I thought that was really sweet. That
get two sales out of that right there. You just don't
just one. Yeah. Well, yeah, that too. But I thought it was really sweet, because for a kid to go, my dad has this collection, and
knowing that it's going to mean something.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's also like, the stuff that I do isn't so much for I do stuff for the maker community, and I put it up on Maker World and all these other sites. But when I do stuff for collectors, that's a totally different thing, because you want it to blend seamlessly with whatever line they're doing. You want people to go, oh my God, where can I get that? And they think it's from XYZ toy
Studios
person.
or Hasbro or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, Bobby Valla or whatever. And then they go, oh, that, like, you got a box and you got this, like, oh
The
yeah, I
guy
got
in
it from
his house
Frag.
made
Like,
this.
you know, their minds are blown, and then they go, then they see the photos, other people see photos, and they're just like, that looks like it belongs in that world,
Yeah.
in that, it's not an external part of their
Yeah,
collection.
that's something we talked about prior to the show, was it's not just printing the model, and like you said, you finish it and you do all that stuff. You went through packaging, the boxing, the styrofoam, everything. Like you give a
And that
full
was just
experience.
that was just for me. Like when I did it, it was just like, I want to see how far I can take it, because I needed that break from the Defiant PC case. But then people were like, I want the box, and I want I want exactly. And I was like, well, you're not going to get exactly what I got, because my prototype has, let's say my prototype had 5 lights. The new ones have 15, and they have sound, and they have, like, it's like
it's a
thing.
whole thing. Like I said, it's a whole entire experience at that point.
Yeah. So when they open the box and they pull it out, it's already done. Like in the case of the Thunderstrike, they pull it out, and it's like, they never thought that would ever be made, or they, so it elevates.
Or they never get their hands on one.
Oh yeah. When I met those 4 guys in St. Louis, all 4 of them, when they opened up their boxes, it was like seeing like little kids. And then, like, I got goosebumps. I still get goosebumps. But one of the guys, James, he owns a wildlife preserve up in Illinois, and he's starting a toy museum. So he brought his kids, and his kids know his, like He-Man, Motu, Thundercats. And I'm talking, these are like 11, 10, 12-year-old boys. And they saw it, and they wanted to play with it. They wanted to, they were just, and that made me feel good too.
That just makes your heart melt at that point. Like, oh man.
Oh yeah. Like, I was like, if I'd have never pulled this thing out of mothballs, like, like, this is a great feeling. That's why that particular design and model, I pretty much, it's a labor of love, because I know it's hard work for the 3 months it takes me to make one, and I'm doing 4 in 3 months. When it's all done, the smile they're going to get, the joy they're going to get, makes me feel really great.
Oh yeah, I think that's just why in your position, it's a multiple steps of just feel good, because I know just even myself, I've been printing for about 8 years, and just getting something off the printer, even if it's something simple, that's a good feeling. Yeah. It's always like, okay, it's a finished thing. Hey, that's awesome. If it's multicolor, it's even cooler. Yeah, exactly. But then you got that good feeling, and then while you're riding that high, then you got the thing of you doing the finishing work, and then sitting back like, okay, no, that looks good, and then you get to present it. So yeah, that's I'm sure it's just a whole roller coaster of
it is. I think with anyone who's a maker, those steps that lead up to the final is universal, right? Because
absolutely,
if they don't fail, and you get it together and you get it painted, and then of course now with multicolor, like now, instead of having to do like paint, because a lot of people, like even me, I don't enjoy painting, but I do it. But now you can literally multicolor print, and if you just hit it with like a satin clear or a lacquer, I don't ever use just regular clear that's junk. Either a lacquer clear or a satin clear, and it's all together.
It's a whole other look.
Yeah, and then you're like, wow, it's done. Like, it, if you're doing big projects and it's like a month worth of printing. I saw a guy do a big Devastator from Transformers. That thing was probably like 4 feet tall, and I was like, oh, jeez, wow, like crazy. And it was he made it like individual Transformers that made a big Devastator. And I was like,
so they were all like, they all were detachable. They were
yes, and he did, and I was like, and he's a designer, and of course it's for content, but it's still like I've been 8 years, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, that's crazy. It's probably because he's doing Maya or something that Luke said I should do, but
Yeah, eventually, right? You still got some time to learn.
Yeah, I have plenty of time.
But we're getting close to the end here, so I want to head
Yep.
over to community. So anybody that's got a question for Frag here, let us know. We'll ask away, whether you want to know, design etiquettes, or what he loves the most, or his checking account information if he's willing to share. You can ask, but you probably won't get
Well, I
that
put
one.
in the chat on.
Oh, hold on. It just dropped you as you're trying to explain something. Okay. You were trying to put something in chat that it blacked you out again. What were you trying to put in chat?
No, in chat earlier, I put the links to my Maker World and my YouTube, so that if they want to look or if they want to go get some models, most of those models are already out there because they were, whatever. So I just like loaded a lot of good stuff up, and if
might as well get some points, some maker points, right? Get something out of it.
Well, that's what got me in trouble in the first place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because initially they had their algorithm wasn't set up for like my kind of stuff. It was very hard surface, put together type things. So when I started putting my statues up, people were like, oh, and it made their algorithm go.
Oh, because it went off real quick. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, it's one of my buddies the same thing. Like he ended up uploading I think chains or something, and it was.
And what's funny is my buddy told me to do it, and then I did it, and then I didn't get on that website for 7 months. So 7 months later, I go to log in just to see what's going on, and it's like you're banned for life. And I was like,
what did I do?
Like, what did I do? And so yeah, it became such a stressful. It became such a big deal that I made a YouTube video, and then that went crazy, and then bamboo. Yeah.
Like, now at least it's kind of smoothed over, after the fact.
Oh yeah, like we had a good conversation. She explained to me like the metrics. It's AI. This is end of 2023, so it's still, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't all manual, reviews and all that stuff. So it was just system kicked it. Yeah. Nobody complained, and
like I would email AI. It would be an AI response. You could read it and go, "This is AI," and then I'd respond back again. It was another AI and another, and I was like, "I just want to talk to a human. Like there should be a 3-message medium here."
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's like if I'm on a phone call and it's like, blah blah, say this or say this, like speak to rep. I'm sorry, speak to rep. Like, I just repeat it, and finally it's like, oh, you would like to speak with a customer representative? Yes.
Like, do y'all have Taco Bells up in Ohio?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we went to a Taco Bell here recently, and you get up to the window or the menu, and it was an AI chick, and she was like, "How can I help you today?" And it was very like awkward because there was no. The voice was great, the timing was great, but that you could tell, right? And
there's
it was
just no
so
personality
weird because I was like, 30, 40 plus years of going through drive-throughs, and like there's no attitude. There's no like, my husband, wrecked the car today kind of attitude or whatever. Like
there's no like life to
it. It's just your order. And I'm just like, this is really weird. Like,
that's what's I think with AI, of course, there's good and bad, but it's a nice tool, but it's funny of how easily we can determine if certain things, whether it be an email response, a text response, or a drive-through response, like, okay, you don't got me fooled yet, AI.
The videos are getting harder and harder to tell.
Yes.
I think as human, we're
scaringly
camera angles, the way it flows. I think that's where they're messing up. There's not enough. I don't know, whatever. But me and my son, when we watch videos, like, let's see if this one's AI. And he's 8, and he's like, yeah, that's AI. That chick's AI.
Yeah, usually hands. I don't know why still to this day AI cannot do human hands. Like there's enough reference images and video that is still 6 fingers or just molded together 4 fingers. It's like, how can you can do so many crazy things, you can't create hands.
Or the background characters don't really do it. Like we watched one the other day where this background guy, it was in a mechanic shop. So you get 2 guys working on this thing, like a truck. And in the background, you see this guy, and he just starts like sideways moonwalking, like he's on a thing, and I'm just like, yep, there you go.
Something doesn't
It's
seem
like,
right
where's
here.
Waldo for humans?
Let's see here. Make sure, which I switched over. I was on Twitch, and that doesn't give me all the YouTube, so I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Which Daniel Thomas
Everyone's
did
like,
ask, do you love AI?
oh, I think I remember when I was younger and I was thinking about getting into art. It was print. Print was like a big deal in the 80s and 90s. Layering manually, right? Everyone doesn't really understand that, like, because of what is it? Jesus, Photoshop, right? So when Photoshop came out, everyone who actually did like manual advertisement freaked. They thought their jobs were done. And I think AI is a similar thing, right? Like, you use it as a tool.
It's a tool, yeah.
People are always going to want human interaction and human things. It's not like full-blown Star Trek. And even in there, you still have more time to spend with your family. But I use it as a tool visually, not to create, but to say, if I have an idea, put in a prompt and just see visually how it looks, and then I will actually sculpt it.
Go from there.
Yeah, it gets it out of my brain quicker. So I think that's great. And there's other means where people use it, as a tool. And I think that's the big thing. Like, if you grew up in the time I grew up, like, you're always worried about Skynet. Like,
yeah.
I'm, like, you're just going to give control to everything, and we're going to be, like
it could happen. You never know. But no, I agree. I think AI it's a very powerful tool, and it's good to enhance things. I don't think it could it replace a lot of things? Yes, but I think it just depends on how we utilize it. I don't think it's going to take over the world on its own and then run everything. But if I'm wrong, I'll be dead anyway. So
yeah. So I look. Yeah. Someone says, "Is this live or recording?" It's live. DMAT.
It's AI.
So I think, yeah, it's AI. I think at the end of the day, we as humans, we're diverse, and we try to acclimate. You look at from World War I to World War II to Vietnam to all the stuff we've gone through from the beginning. This is just another piece of technology that we're still really trying to learn about and feel out. And we tend to, it's like when we get older, right? I'm sure you got grandparents or your mom, when you say, look, you're too old to not drive. And they're like, no, I can still drive. That's how we are as humans in regards to technology. And like, no, I still want to type, and I still want to do certain things. You can help me, but I'm not an invalid, right? So I think we like our independence as a species.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. And change, change is sometimes rough, but it doesn't have to be like world changing change. So yeah, but I think I want to end it off with some rapid fire questions. First two questions I ask every guest is the same. It's not too
Good thing I've never seen your show.
Yeah. They're easy. First one going to be, and the answer, of course, doesn't have to be Polymaker, since we need to get you some Polymaker, but what is your favorite filament color or surface effect? Galaxy, sparkles, or just a plain blue, or what's your go-to?
So I'm a gray or white.
Blue finish, yeah. So yeah, a good base.
Yeah, I do like a good solid brown. I don't know why. I don't know if you've ever printed like a bronzy brown, but man, that stuff, it's great.
You can't see it, but there's a big old bronze bust right behind me of a cow.
Like, it's just the way the brown lays down. Certain filaments. I'm like, you wouldn't think that brown would be a color but gray or white.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of that mix of where it's it's dark, so it helps blend the layers really well, but it's not super dark, so you still see some details. Because black can hide some details. White shows layer lines like crazy, but so no, it's a good answer. Second one is, out of all the things you've designed or printed, either one, what is the one thing that you're most proud of, printed or designed?
I did a bust of my grandma for my mom. and printed it.
That's awesome.
So that was, she's been gone a while. So I think, being able to print it and look like her, and then my mom getting it and being able to like touch her mom's face.
It's so much different than seeing a 2D a photo. So did you just use an old photo as a reference and then just went from there?
So actually I outsourced that. It was a 3D Spot company. 3D Spot. I was in the middle of something and I thought, I've seen some of their stuff and sent them a couple pictures. I had to do some tweaks. It wasn't 100%, but they sent me the ZBrush file. So I was able to change some stuff up and then print it for her. So it was great.
Oh, that's definitely sounds like one to be very proud of. But then last rapid fire question: if you're looking for somebody that models, that maybe models some retro stuff, whether it be Thundercats, Love, I think you even have the Book of Omens, among other things on your Maker World. Who can they follow and where can they follow them?
You mean outside of me?
Or... No, you. It's my transition to get you to plug yourself.
Oh, okay. I mean, this being a designer and a maker, you're just like you're just always busy, right? So I don't know how these people are on Facebook and Instagram and Twitch. Like I just made a Twitch account.
Super active. Oh yeah, no, it's
I'm like, how do you have time? I'm 46 and I don't have time to do all this stuff. So I've been trying to go more on Instagram. So I have Instagram stuff. ArtStation is a good place to see some of my work. I'm trying to get a certain amount on my YouTube. So we're going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to do a contest in January. So I'm thinking I'm going to be giving away a Thunderstrike. I'm not 100% sure, but we got to get
that one.
Well, I put a posting out. I was like, look, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So subscribe, watch the videos. Let's get to a certain number. And if we get to a certain number, then we can do a giveaway. So, but other than, it's not just retro stuff. Like if you're just like, hey, I got this design and I can't get a hold of the original artist. Can you fix it for me? Can you mod it for me? I want to make something for my kid, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If I can't do it, I usually know, like, I know somebody who can, and they're going to be fair and they're going to treat you, with the same respect that I would. So.
Awesome. Is that best to reach for anybody that's looking to do that for like a piece, is to reach out through Instagram DMs or
Instagram DM, Facebook, on both of those, I think my email's on there, or YouTube, you can message me on there. I'm short of giving out my phone number and, somebody knows how to get a hold of it. We won't dox you
that far yet.
Yeah. Not yet.
Awesome. Well, anything else that you're working on that come up in the future that you want to plug or tell people to, be ready for or watch you?
We're doing a 7-foot Tower of Omens for that museum up in Illinois for the toy museum.
That's awesome.
So, because the cat's lair from Super 7 is about 3.5 feet tall, but the tower is more like the Eiffel Tower, right? It goes really up. Yep. So to make it to scale. So that's the big kind of whittling away. We're doing Thunderstrikes. People have asked for other vehicles, specifically for bad guys. So
cover, both spectrums. That way you can have the wars.
I think I'm always, I just tell people like I can only do so much. And I try to give people realistic time, realistic deadlines, and try to keep it cost effective to where they're not like having to get a loan for a big project. Like if we got to spread it out, or if we got to do, put you on production schedule, and you're going to save, hey, I had to save for my print. I had to save for all the others, that's not a big deal. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here, so I try to work with people.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Give, everybody, that, doesn't have the time to learn the skill or can't model themselves, give them some accessibility to having that done for them. So no, I think that's awesome.
And if you're a designer, a new designer, I try to do the same thing like Leandro did. Like if you have questions about ZBrush or modeling or how to do stuff, you can always reach out to me too. And if I can't answer the question, I know.
So you're connected to somebody that is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that sounds awesome, and yeah, I'm sure there will be some people in the chat that are like, you know what, maybe I'm messing with this, or if somebody's played with ZBrush. I have not went down that route yet. I have too many other things on the list to do, but no, I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on the show and letting us know
Thanks for
more
having
about
me.
yourself. I know, I appreciate it, and yeah, I look forward to seeing some stuff. And follow. So on YouTube, is it Fragmintz 1 or is it just Fragmintz?
I think it's actually I changed the name to Fragmintz Customs, but it's under Fragmintz_customs with
Okay,
a Z.
Fragmintz
like
underscore
Fragmintz.
customs.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
Yeah.
go. So just like you see Fragments with a Z _customs with a Z, go follow his YouTube and giveaway. Let's get enough people there. That way I have a chance to win a Thunderstrike. I mean, you guys can have a chance too, but
Yeah, or something, if we get enough subscribers and we get up there, then it can be anything, I mean, we'll just have to
There
go
we
from
go.
there.
well, let's get them there, everybody. And again, thank you for coming on the show. It was nice meeting you, and we'll see you around. Have
Be
a
good
night.
or be good at it.
There you go. Thank you, man.
Later.
There you guys go. I want a Thunderstrike, so go follow him on YouTube, and also because he's a really good guy. So let's not just be selfish about it. But no, and just this, he showed up on my Facebook page many times. Been wanting to reach out to him. Of course, seeing the Thunderstrike. I'm a old school retro cartoon guy. Love those things, and he does. Go check out his Instagram. Check out the designs and the finished models. Crazy stuff. So definitely some skill there that I will never have. So hats off to him. But go give him a follow across the board on the Instagram, on YouTube, etc. And then join his giveaway come January. That's not that far away. We're getting really close to the end of the year, everybody. But other than that, while you're out following people and checking out Instagrams and TikToks and YouTubes and all of that stuff, make sure to follow !PMF is our Polymaker figurines hosted by Onslaught Dimensions. And as I've reported, it is coming to an end at the end of this month. So go show your support. Tell them that you loved everything. If you loved it, if you didn't like it, then just keep that to yourself. But don't say anything if you can't say anything nice, right? But those are still doing videos, and as the videos come out, the models become available to download on the Maker World. So you can go check that out across all the socials. I'm not sure the future of the account. Stay tuned. As soon as I know, I can kind of hint or tease, or maybe even just tell you. But other than that, we also have Polymaker Education, !PME, and that is hosted by Creatrix Brit, and that's again where videos are released showcasing different models for use in education or however you please, and then those models become available for download on Maker World and printables under Polymaker Education. So go check her out, follow her, show her the love there. And then also have !PML. That's Polymaker Labs. It's over on TikTok, and that's hosted by Sean, Polymaker Sean. He's dressed up as a scientist, giving you the tips, tricks, and troubleshooting to help you with anything you might be running into with your printing problems, or to be a reference if you end up having them in the future, just not right now. Along with that, a lot of that information is then put into, let's say physical, other digital means at our wiki, at !Wiki. And that is, again, a lot of that information, or all that information that he presents, he puts that into the wiki. Sean is also headed that program, and that is building up and up. It's got profiles. We're organizing the profile stuff to help you with more printers, more filaments, etc. So that way you have our ideal, at least base profiles. You can always tweak and tune as you please. But go give that a follow. And last but not least, we have !IPC, and that is twitch.tv/Pezliz, Miss Pezliz herself, hosting two different shows. One is Imprinting Color on Wednesdays on her stream, on her channel. And that is presenting different, new colors or different ways to use present colors. Present colors. Hold on. Wet the palette. Maybe that'll help me talk right. But other than that, she also does Pezliz Presents, which is usually on Saturday, sometimes Sunday, depending on the schedule, where she is helping build our designer modeler portfolio to help get models that we can use through marketing to showcase new filaments as they come out. So there's awesome ways that you can see the filament being used and maybe be inspired to go download some models from those said designers that we work with. And sometimes those streams can be interviews with those said designers, or just going over their portfolio, showing you what they really have to download and what to print to, help you decide on what next to print if you've run into a printer block. We've all been there. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's okay. We're here to help. So check her out again on Wednesdays in Printing Color. Pezos Presents on Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. But we are live. We do a giveaway on the show. There it is. I didn't think it was going to pop up. And it is active. I probably should have looked at that sooner. That would have been embarrassing if that said 0 entries. I have everything running right. Look at that. Sometimes I don't mess up everything, except this. The microphone's in scene. Bad microphone. But real quick, I'm going to give you guys all a chance to go enter I Am Awesome in chat to join the giveaway while I do this. And we are going to be continuing the show every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Not stopping yet. Looking to do some updates. Got some ideas. Maybe we'll do some feedback. Tuesday is normally, the community chat. Get some ideas. Maybe we'll talk about some ideas. If you guys have some fun, cool ideas that you'd like to see on the show implemented, or some enhancements to what we already do, come to our Tuesday show. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern also. And, give me some ideas, because I'm going to look for some feedback on some different things going into the new year. I'd love to make this stream bigger, better, laser shows, fog lights, confetti cannons, maybe other giveaways. You'd never know. But while I'm yapping, what do we got? Do we not have any printers online? Everybody's playing video games. Thursday night must be video game night. Nope. Exit that. Hey, Trendy Tech Dad is here. You know what? 35 minutes in. Let me make sure his audio is working. Hold on. Okay, his audio. Last time we rated my buddy Asylum Life, his audio wasn't working right off the rip. So get your entries in there. We're going to raid out after the drawing to Asylum Life. He's doing an interview with Trendy Tech Dad on TikTok, which he comes across my For You page all the time. Really nice guy. He's got a nice little green diamond background. We're going to show our love over to Asylum Life and Trendy Tech Dad once we are done here drawing. Gamer Awards tonight. There you go. YouTube intro, outro. Why not the intro, outro to everything? We do have an outro for YouTube. It's a little doom. But get with me, Kevin. Yeah, I'll take your input. Come back on Tuesday. We're going to do this drawing to finish this up. So if you're not entered, it's too late because I'm hitting draw. You will win a spool of filament from Polymaker. $35 voucher for Canada or US. And it's international. So if you win, you win. Exclamation point contact. You get joel.fin@polymaker.com. Cheesy over on Twitch. You won. Congratulations. Make sure you email me or you message over to, on Discord. Come follow us. Discord.polymaker.com. We got some giveaways coming. My week was busy. I'm sorry, but it's getting announced. And stay tuned. We're going to have some really awesome giveaways on Discord and our Facebook group. Join now or you're going to miss out. That is it. You guys all have a wonderful night, a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week. Show our love over to Silent Life and Trinity Tech Dad, and we'll catch you next week.